what's nice is not going 4 time zones to play in the NCAA tournament. That added a whole lot of extra challenge last year, and it's nice just to be staying in your time zone. They're playing a great opponent, like Yale first, who is a perennial champion. They know how to win. So we're going to set, as we have all year long, we set our sights on the first team, the next team on the schedule, and we try to go 1-0. So State College is a great place to play volleyball. It's one of the more historic facilities in the country. A lot of winning has taken place there, and so I think it's going to be a great experience for us to be in that kind of atmosphere. But right now, it's all about Yale. It's all about getting ready for Yale. It's all about preparing to win.
Let's ask you about the bracket reveal, just waiting, and you're doing the math in your head.
Yeah, I'm doing the math in my head, knowing that there was a slim chance we would be a number 4. Very high chance that we would be a number 5. So we would play a 4. Now, which 4 is that going to be? Was it going to be Creighton? Was it going to be Rice? Was it going to be Baylor? Marquette? We didn't know who the 4s were going to be. One of them got revealed as a 5. So that means somebody who wasn't in the mix that we thought stole a 4 bid, and it turned out to be Penn State. They were RPI'd at 19, and but they got one of the 14, 15, 16, 13, 14, 15, 16 spots. So, but it's a great program with a lot of great tradition, and looking forward to going to State College. That's all I can say.
You've talked a lot about Amber and McKenna's leadership, especially mentoring younger players throughout the season. As they've gone through tournaments before, how important is that at this stage of the season, them continuing to be those mentors?
Yeah, this is it. This is their chance to leave a legacy now. How do they get their teammates prepared for this challenge that lies ahead? From academics to travel to day-to-day itineraries, how do they lead this program? And they've already done a fantastic job for several years in a row. No reason to believe it's not going to happen again this year.
One thing I noticed when doing a quick cursory research of Yale and Penn State is that they're 2 of the top defensive teams in the country in certain aspects. In Yale, one of the lowest opponent hitting percentages, Penn State highest in blocks. So even though Penn State, of course, is still a potentiality, with how defensive this bracket seems to be, how are you kind of thinking about approaching defensive play teams like that?
We're not going to worry too much about what the numbers were, because in the NCAA tournament, the numbers don't matter. The best offensive team all of a sudden comes out and hits old 50. It's just the way it is in the tournament. So right now, we're just going to go out, and you've heard me say it all year long about just being the best team that we can be on that day, and hope that that's good enough. So we're going to go out there and we're going to use the defense that has helped us get here, and our offense, top 5 in the country, and we're going to go out there and try to use as much of it as we can. I think Yale is a tremendous defensive team. We're going to have to find ways to score against them, and we're going to have to find ways to keep them from scoring. So, all in all, I think it's a good draw. I think it's who's going to win. Is it going to be offense or is it going to be defense? So
you don't have to go west, but you have previous NCAA tournament experience. How does that now help you in this NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think every year you play in this thing, the more you understand the nuance of it. You understand what questions to ask. You understand what answers you need to look for. I think there's so many little details that after you're in it for several years, you know to ask even before they come up. So, all that experience certainly will help us.
Some of the differences, made this year too, how NCAA seeded things. How do you think that played a part in this draw?
I think it worked out real well. Now, I haven't done a deep dive into the 32, but I think that's progress for our sport. I think that's progress for women's sports. They've moved to seeding 64 in women's basketball. This is kind of a test run for us in soccer and other sports, seeding 32. And hopefully we'll see a day, where they're seeding all 64. And it's really, 1 verse 64 and 17 verse 16 and all the way through. And hopefully we're getting to that day. But I think it's a big step for the movement of sports in general, but especially female sports.
What is the difference in this team? Because you guys have been in the NCAA tournament now for all 5 of these years. What do you think is the difference between that first team of McKenna and Amber were on and going to the NCAA tournament versus the team that we see now going to the NCAA tournament 5 years later?
I think that first year was a situation where ignorance is bliss. You know, they went into that year, they didn't know what it was, so they just went and played. They had the advantage of playing in Puerto Rico, playing against the Puerto Rican national team several matches and having success. So they believed in themselves from early on. Now, each year they've gone on and they've had to, the toughest thing to do is defend, right? Defend your reputation, defend yourself. And so they've had to go out now for 4 more years on top of that and defend, you know, what they've already done. They had to validate it, it seems like. And they went out and they've done that with great success. And, you know, I think it's a team that's hungry. It's a team that wants to advance. And so we're going to take them, like I said, coach speak, we're going to take them one at a time. And we're going to do our best to advance as far and as long as they'll let us go.
How has it helped the brand of UCF Volleyball?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think the success of, you know, going to 6 tournaments out of 10 years in the American, and the success of this team, we're losing 1 match this year, plus heading into the Big 12 next year, there's a lot of buzz about the program. And the direction we're going, the trajectory that we're taking, we've already seen it in recruiting, we've already seen it in national notoriety, but I think it's only going to take it a whole nother level being back in the tournament again.
How did Friday's match just really set things? I mean, that's a NCAA tournament match. You couldn't ask for a better way to go in.
That was a Sweet 16 tournament.
Yeah.
You know, that was a Sweet 16 match, and you know, it challenged us at every end, making decisions, deciding offense, defensive timeouts. Should we take one now or should we wait? I mean, it was a tournament match, and it put us through a tournament dress rehearsal. So that is big heading into the NCAA tournament. That's what I said when we were in the locker room and we were done. We needed that match. We needed an NCAA feeling match before we went into the NCAA tournament.
And you sensed from your players that they recognized that as well.
Nope, that's how they were. They were already in that mode. They were already in that. No matter what it takes, we're winning. We may lose some things, but we are winning this match.
To have a deep run in this tournament, what do you want to see your team do? You say you want them to play UCF volleyball. What do you want to see now?
I want to see hunger. I want to see cohesiveness. I want to see perseverance. I want to see all the things that have made us great. You take those attributes and you put them in the tournament, that's a team that becomes dangerous. Those can be Cinderella teams. And we still haven't played our best match yet. That match is still out there. And, you know, I think during whatever stretch we get, it's a good time for it to come out.
I think that it's without, you know, intro that McKenna has made a large impact on this program. This is her last NCAA tournament alongside Amber. How cognizant would you and this team want to be with that going into this NCAA tournament, knowing it's their last chance?
I don't think you look at, we're going to go out there and we're going to win it for this player or that player, the 5th-year seniors or anything like that. When you start taking your eyes off of what you're doing and who you're playing against, I think it really blows things up. So as much as we do want to send all of the seniors out with a memorable season, it's not going to be about any one of them. It's really about all 16 of them.
How important are those players, though, to being mentors in the way your other players are learning and seeing what they do on the court and on practice?
You're looking at Claudia stepping up and being a leader. You're looking at Heidi stepping up and being a big game competitor. You're looking at both defensive specialists, liberos, you know, playing better and just learning how to relax in the back row and play defense and see what you see. Plus the people on the bench that didn't get in this year but are going to be starters in the future. How do they act in these situations? So it's a feeling where those players are learning from the graduates, learning what the UCF way is and how we compete in these situations.
You excited?
I can't wait. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I've been looking for the email that's going to give us some more detail and more outline, but I can't wait. I'm ready to go. I think the team's ready to go, and we can't wait to get into practice tomorrow and get ready for this.
I think for me, it's like obviously when they're calling all the names of the teams, like you kind of have like you're holding your breath the entire time. So I had a big sigh of relief. No matter who the team was going to be, it's always nice to know that you're going no matter what because you never know, things do get shifted, they come up in the air. So knowing that we get to go and play some really good teams this coming week is really exciting.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think my first thought was, okay, who are we playing? I know they paused for a minute. I was like, okay, who are we playing? But even before that, I know we were most likely going into the into the NCAA tournament, but there's still that thought of, okay, we didn't get the automatic bid. What could happen? What could happen? But I mean, we've worked really hard. We've got a really good place. I think we're really looking forward to where we're going.
You think you guys earned hosting?
I don't ever think hosting was something that we were really seriously thinking about. I think it was something that was in the back of our minds, like, yeah, that would be a really cool bonus. But where Houston was playing and how they were projected, I don't think that it was, after winning in 5, I don't think it was really a strong possibility with all the other teams above us. So we're happy to go on the road. We're okay with it. I think that's a good thing, too, is that we've been mentally prepared to go on the road. It wasn't a shock, like, oh, we have to go on the road. We were hoping to host. No, we are ready. We're going to go out and we're ready to go. And I think we've been prepared school-wise, academically, like, yep, we're leaving on Tuesday or Wednesday to go play.
And I think it's really hard, just like coming from a mid-major conference in general, to be able to host. I know we have a really good ranking both in our RPI and the ABCA, but it's still hard to, even if you're on the brink, they're probably not going to give it to you. And like Max said, like that's something that we prepare for, and we're okay with going on the road. I mean, we've proved this year that we'll take teams on the road and not at home whenever we can.
Both Yale and Penn State seem to really stick out because of their defense. Yale has one of the lowest opponent hitting percentages in the country, while Penn State has some of the highest total blocks in the country. So just thinking about those kinds of things, how do you think you're going to need to play them in order to get your chance at the Sweet 16?
I think it's something that you just don't look past. You don't look past their defense. You don't look past any point. We have to stay low air. We have to swing smart. I think we did a good job against Houston swinging smart. I think the rest of the team really, we got our middles involved. So to be able to diversify our offense as quickly as possible is what's going to help us win. Yeah, I think we just can't look past any team. The NCAA tournament is a different animal. We're experienced. We know what it looks like, which is a good thing.
And especially on the defensive side of things, it's like we have to be ready for the ball to come back on our side of the court. The ball's not going to go down the first time. I think that's something we touch on a lot during the season, is knowing that, hey, we might not get a kill right away, so we need to be ready to play defense back and be able to transition and get good swings. So
let's go back to Friday. We didn't get a chance to talk to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was that like?
For me, that was honestly awesome. I love that our gym was absolutely rocking. Just having all those people, especially our families, because of senior night, being able to be there and support us. I personally love looking up into the stands and seeing my family, and just knowing that Knights Nation supports us so much and has followed along with this journey for so long this season.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of build-up. There was a lot of... We've been looking forward to this date for a long time. We were looking forward to that Friday night game for a long time. It's something we're prepared for. And again, if you can be prepared for any team, if you go out there and win, I think our team did a great job of keeping our middles involved. Our back row, we call them our littles. They killed it. Absolutely, they're the single-handedly kept us in that game. I think Heidi Amber set a great offense. We did well. All around, we did well.
Things were clicking.
Yeah, and it's really good to go into NCAA tournament on a win. So we have that win. We know what it's like to play 5 sets, a hard-fought 5 sets with the crowd on our side. So now it's just something we have to adjust a little bit if the crowd's not going to be necessarily on our side as much.
Yeah, that was an NCAA tournament match, right? I mean, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to have an opponent in our conference now. Like Houston, we had a really great season. They were able to get ranked up kind of where we were. So being able to have that high competition, especially at the end of the season, was huge going into the tournament.
On a personal note, McKenna, senior night, and also getting to walk on that court with your mom, who's also your high school coach, correct?
Yes.
Emotionally, what was that like? And also, any comments on, her impact on where you got her?
Well, I've been in the volleyball gym since I was 2 years old. That's the impact there. She's always been on the volleyball court, so I never knew anything else. But it's such a great bond that we share is the volleyball piece of things. But it's really nice just to talk to her as a mom. She's always said that she's going to be my #1 supporter, especially through college. She didn't really critique anything. She wasn't a coach up in the stands, so I knew that I could always rely on her. I have such a great support system. My brother comes when he can. He was in school for a while too, but being a twin was a great sense of. I always had a friend around. I always had a buddy. And then my dad has done a great job. He's a pilot, so he flies all the time. But when he's there, he's always there. I know he flew on a red eye just to make senior night, so he does the little things, and they all do the little things. So
It was emotional for you at points there? Did you feel it?
Yeah, I think I cried before and I cried after, but I tried not to cry during. I think there was a lot of excitement with us winning that it took over this thought of sadness. Not really hoping it doesn't hit me for a little bit, hoping we ride it out a little bit longer before it hits. And it will hit, and that'll be something we have to deal with once we cross it.
Claudia, what did it mean to watch to kind of witness McKenna as well as the other seniors make that walk?
It's not easy, especially when I become such great friends with them. Where McKenna and I are roommates along with Josie, I'm roommates with her too. So knowing that, I know they're still gonna live with me, but it's still tough to be like, okay, we're not gonna be going to the gym anymore. Come January, and that's really hard, anyways. But just seeing McKenna and Amber especially, we're the foundation of this program, and knowing that I only got to have 2 years with them, makes me sad. I wish I would come here right away to get a couple more years, but I'm grateful for the years that I had with them. I think they're great, incredible leaders. So they will be very missed next year, and it's definitely not going to be easy watching them leave this come May. So
I wanted to
Last
touch
question.
I wanted to touch on, by the way, because you ended up having the game of your life against Houston offensively. 18 kills, way more than you've seen in a single match. So you mentioned, McKenna, getting the middles involved. So how crucial is that going to be as you kind of head in, as you get ready to go to State College to take on Yale and Penn State? Potentially Penn State.
yeah, I think I like when our middle's involved because I think it helps out McKenna and Heidi and Kari all in the pins, because if the blockers have to focus on me and Abby for a little bit, then that's going to open them up on the blocks, and that's kind of been our game plan is, hey, let's pass hole, let's dig balls, and from there Amber's going to run where we need to set the ball, and if we can take some pressure off the outside of the right side pins sometimes, because they're getting a lot of out assisted balls, so when we're in system, let's throw a couple to the middles, and then hey, shoot them out to McKenna, and she's going to put the ball away. So yeah.
How far can this team go?
As far as we want. No, it's going to be a dogfight. I think we can get to Wisconsin, and I think we can put up a good fight against them. I think that's our goal. I think our goals just keep growing. We got conference, okay, check, what's our next goal? We win against Yale, okay, what's our next goal? I think each time you do something, you have to have a new goal, and that's something we've done really well. We even started this year of, okay, we're going to work hard in the weight room. Yep, goal accomplished. We're going to work hard in practice, goal accomplished. So what can you do to get those goals? So I don't necessarily look at how far ahead we go. It's what's happening. All right, can we reach the goals that are attainable to us?